This is David Bernstein from the Fredcast. We're live from the show floor with Interbike TV. I'm here with Michael Brown. He's the brand manager for Trek mountain bikes. Michael, we're standing in front of this bike. Tell us about it.
Yes, we are, David. This is the Scratch 9. Scratch is a completely new platform this year for Trek. What we did last year, we had 4 full suspension bikes. We had the Remedy at kind of the all-mountain freeride spectrum, and then we had the Session, which was a downhill bike, and we also outfitted it with a freeride parts kit. We realized in the world that people really need that dedicated freeride bike. So we repositioned the Remedy, made it more of an all-mountain bike, made the Session a dedicated race bike, and then the Scratch gets inserted as the freeride bike. So this is kind of the, for the BC guy, this is going to be his all day, but I still want to hit the shuttles, go in the backcountry kind of thing. So it's completely new, 170 millimeters of travel in the back, 160 in the front. All the technology that you're familiar with Trek so far. We introduced ABP about 4 years ago now, and the active braking pivot is kind of the foundation of Trek's resurgence in the mountain bike lineup.
So tell everybody who, maybe if they're not familiar, what ABP is all about and what it does for them on the bike.
Active braking pivot, it's a technology that puts the rear suspension pivot in line with the axle. And what it does, most other suspension systems will firm up when you put on the brakes, but this technology allows the suspension to perform as it was designed all the time, brakes on or off. A lot of people refer to it as brake jack. It doesn't happen with this bike. Flawless performance, completely stiff front to back. The geometry is completely dialed. And in fact, a really cool feature of this bike is a adjustable geometry as well. I haven't talked about this.
No, we didn't talk about that earlier. Tell me about that.
No, we didn't. Adjustable geometry. Actually, back here we have this thing called the MinoLink. So if you want to, you can go back and forth between a 66.5 head tube angle and a 66 angle. So all you do is flip the Mino, turn it around, and you've got the perfect head angle that you want. We find that freeriders, the definition of freeride changes all the time. Right. From across the globe, people are doing things just a little bit differently. This allows people to further fine-tune the bike for their preferences. Tell
me about the head tube. We were looking at this earlier. It's got a tapered head tube. What sizes are we talking about here, and what are the benefits of doing it this way?
This is the technology we call E2. Other people refer to it as their tapered head tube system. It's a 1.5 on the bottom and a 1 1/8 on the top. And what that does is it really allows you to put the material where it matters most. Standard 1.5 system is a lot of material at the bottom and at the top. You don't really need it at the top. If you look at the fork as kind of a lever, you're putting the material really where it matters the most, right here. So you're getting the most out of this for stiffness, and then you are also saving a bit of weight up here. You don't have the extra, the extra large bearing. The stem can be narrowed down to a commonly used size, and it's a design that we've integrated across almost all our suspension bikes so far, and we're quite happy with it.
Now, we talked about the adjustable geometry in the back, but what we didn't talk about in detail is the rear suspension. Tell us what makes the rear suspension on this bike special.
Well, rear suspension, the combination of ABP and full floater, those two technologies really allow us to fine-tune the product to make it feel as we want it all the time. Full floater is the idea that there's a continuation of the chainstay as the attachment point for the lower portion of the shock. Most other companies that you see out there are making a static attachment to the frame for the bottom. By moving these two link, the rocker link, the Evo link, and the continuation of the chainstay, the full floater, that allows our suspension designers to completely dial in the suspension the way we want it to feel all the time. So what you're getting out of our bikes is a completely dialed suspension all the time, no matter the condition.
And price point on a bike like this, what kind of a consumer is going to be looking at this?
The Scratch lineup varies. We've got the Scratch main frame stays the same, but we have two different lines of Scratch. We have the Scratch 7 and the Scratch 9. Scratch 7 is about 42, the Scratch 9 is about 56, and then for people who are more concerned about weight, we have the Scratch Air products. Scratch Air 6, which is about 37, and Scratch Air 8, which is about 56. Okay. So, two great bikes, perfect for wherever you're riding.
Where can people get more information about it?
TrekBikes.com or your local Trek retailer.
Sounds great. Michael, thank you so much. Have a great show.
Yeah, thank you, David. Much appreciated.
This is David Bernstein from the Fredcast. We're live from the show floor with Interbike TV.